You're here, and I'm assuming more people are coming. Those of you who are logging on, we welcome you. And it's a beautiful day.
Yes.
Somebody tell me, what was the best thing you ever got for Christmas when you were a kid? Anybody remember?
10-speed black tricycle.
Your 10-speed?
Bought it when I was 10 years old from a Tesco, and him and Mary did not celebrate, did not believe in Christmas. They spoke against it. They said it was pagans and heathens. And when I wasn't expecting no Christmas present, and we bought it, he let me know. He said, "This ain't got nothing to do with Christmas. We don't do all that." I said, "But I got you something."
That's so cool.
10-speed,
So it was extra special because they broke the rules for it.
Extra special for a 10-year-old little boy that had moved to.
That's awesome. What was yours?
Reel-to-reel, literal tape, reel-to-reel recorder.
Oh, when tape recorders first came out, I remember I got my first little tape recorder and I had a 45 of the Beatles singing Let It Be, and I could record me harmonizing with them. I just thought that's like, no one has ever thought of this. And then I got in trouble because I had it in the back seat and my parents were talking about people in the church and I was recording them and Mom, give me that tape. Somebody else? What'd you get? What's your best Christmas thing you ever got? What?
For me, it wasn't a stuff. It was, I got to go with my great aunt, who was like my Auntie May, to my cousins in Montana. And we just had so much fun. And I loved it.
You never forgot it?
Yep, very special.
Nobody had Christmas on this side?
Viewmaster.
Oh, I love it. Now they don't seem that big a deal, but I would look at those things and go round and round. Oh, there it is again. Oh, there it is again. Yeah, I love Viewmaster. Somebody else? What's your best Christmas thing you ever got?
Mine was it was a race track, and I think it was something that they they didn't wrap it because I think it was a last minute gift because they just told me we unpacked all the gifts and then they said, "Well, go into your room to get something," and
it was set up.
It was set up.
Oh, how cool! That's awesome. Somebody else?
I got a portable typewriter. I wasn't expecting it, but I love to write, and so.
And that helped shape you become a writer.
Yeah.
That was them playing to your strengths. Bring up a child in the way he or she should go. Yeah, good. Anybody else? Ernie?
Roller skates.
Oh yeah, old school roller skates. Before, not roller blades, roller skates. Yeah, you had to have skates. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. When we go to eat at a place like we pass, there's a skating rink right there close to my house, and every time we go in, I'm like, "Do you want to just go in and do a couple of laps?"
We were by Eats yesterday, and the line was out the door.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just a trick of the devil. That they should. All it is these restaurants like them, they lease those properties.
Yeah.
Over time, it's got so expensive.
I mean, I don't even meet with my boys on Wednesday nights, but they're so upset about it. So, y'all want to go Wednesday night? Yes, we're there. Even Jared just got back from Europe, so we're going for a farewell. But yeah.
What's the name of the place?
Eats. It's a place that we've been eating at for years. They said the water bill side. It's like $4,000 a month for water. All right, we're back with Christmas. Focus, people.
Here comes the 11th hour. They don't enjoy the service just as anybody else.
Come on in. All right, the club's closed. I see you, Burberry. I opened with that this morning because I'm just talking about ways that you raise your vibration, and that there's something really to that. Like anytime you start thinking about a great memory, or you get in touch with that feeling of what you felt like when it's important to keep those things. Yes. I think that's more important than positive thinking. It's the feeling. What are things that made you feel alive, made you feel good? Get in touch with those. Anybody else? Okay. Spirit of God, we honor your presence. Where can we go from it? You are everywhere. And this thing that we create when we come together, where two or more are gathered together, something unprecedented happens. We call it done. Please remain standing. We'll do the Lord's Prayer. Y'all come on in. Oh, that's cool. Our Father who art in heaven, presence of divine love and light that lives within us and within all of life. Hallowed be thy name. We invoke the powerful creative nature of all that is sacred and holy. Thy kingdom come. We embrace the healing essence that is the kingdom of heaven within us. Thy will be done. We accept our greatest good as we align with our divine nature, on earth as it is in heaven, knowing that the affairs of our lives reflect our evolving consciousness. Give us this day our daily bread. Each day we receive great blessings from within and throughout all the activities of our lives. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. We accept the divine nature of all things and all people, including ourselves, as we move away from judgment and toward greater awareness of divine presence. And lead us not into temptation. We shall be vigilant in expressing and experiencing the oneness with all life. But deliver us from evil, as we are learning to live without fault-finding and suffering. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. For we accept the consciousness of divine perfection with all its power and glory, right here, right now, and forever. Amen. And so it is. Tell the person next to you, there's nobody I'd rather sit next to than you today, and then you may be seated. We have meditation weekend number 27 coming up in, what, 3 weeks from today? Is that right? Something like that. October 25th and 26th. We're going to Blue Ridge. Hey, y'all went to LJ yesterday. Was any leaves turning yet?
No, they're about to.
Yeah.
It's still pretty green. So,
The last several falls, there's only been color for like 24 hours. It was green, and suddenly it was color, and then it was. That's why I did. Nobody's bought it yet, but I got great response for. I just wanted to paint October, so I did a painting this week, and so we'll see. Oh yeah, there it is.
it's gonna look just like that when we go.
It is. Was it you that said made you think the wind was blowing through the leaves? Yeah, that was good. I like that. It never translates well on a picture, but it turned out okay. The right person will get it. I hope a lot of you are going to come to this meditation weekend. Blue Ridge is beautiful. If you've never been there, it's a beautiful little town, especially that time of year. Our outreach this month is, I wanted to do the American Cancer Society. I was thinking today, just right off the top, I counted 7 or 8 people with I don't mean people I minister to, I mean people within my orbit who are dealing with it right now. Ken's brother, come on in. I don't say a lot about him. He has bladder cancer. And, hey, bud. The chemo's working. The tumors are all gone. But there's a lot going on. So this month I thought, I just want to do something proactive to push back a little bit. Some of you watching today, some of you here today are dealing with it. Charles' mom transitioned this week, so please keep Charles in your prayer. But it's a very real thing, and I appreciate that we live in a place where. Did we have the graphic for it? Oh, there it is. We've given to them before, but we're going to do it again this week. And for those of you who are dealing with it, and some of you watching today, stay strong. Not only do you have supernatural working for you, but we're living in amazing medical times as well. So I have a couple of people close to me who haven't been diagnosed, but they're being tested to see if that's what it is. So it's very real. How many of you got somebody in your world right now that's dealing with cancer? See, it's 100% of everybody. So it's definitely a thing. So every little bit that we can do is a positive thing. And of course, we speak peace to Charles and his family, and Um, I already made the trip up there and hugged him in person. You got those of you that walk up and down those bleachers. I'm impressed.
Walk by faith. No banister. They say, the Holy Ghost hit me, I run up and down.
I made 2 trips up and down today because I went back up and got my mic, and BJ said I looked good coming down, so I'm like, I was on the catwalk. All right. I want to do something else high vibrational. Somebody tell me, because this has to do with what I'm teaching on today. What was your favorite thing to do on Saturday mornings when you were a kid? Does anybody have a good Saturday morning memory? Fred? Got up early, baby. You knew. What was your favorite one? What was your go-to cartoon? I tell you what I love. Bill Cosby notwithstanding. I could separate Bill Cosby, but Fat and I still, Mushmouth, he put a B on everything. I still do that sometimes. I'll be like, Weeba Arba going to, but come on in. But oh yeah, kids don't understand what Saturday meant because now they can watch cartoons all the time. It's not such a thing. But then it was like you had that window of time. You had to get the right cereal and oh my God. And mine would, of course, I grew up on television. Mine would go all the way to American Bandstand and Soul Train and whatever Tarzan movie was on. I know Tarzan's not politically correct, but I watched it. And but that's when you knew, because I had chores to do, but at least they could say, you can wait till your shows are over. Because I had, and sweet Jesus, the banana splits when they came out. Tra-la-la. I remember years ago, this is before Wikipedia and before the internet or anything, but somebody came up to me at church. They said, I have a question. We were discussing with somebody, and I knew you would know the answer to this. I thought it was going to be a Bible question. They said, what were the names of the banana splits? And I'm like, Fleagle, Drooper, Bingo, and Snork. Why? They said, we knew you would know. Somebody else, what's your favorite memory, Sonia?
Me and my cousin Faye, we were like this, and we would do that Saturday morning. When me and Faye would get together, we would watch cartoons, and we used to love Now Ladies, and we would go to her house, and we would set our Now Ladies on the radiators and let them get warm, and we would watch cartoons all day until Count Dracula come on.
Yeah.
And then the bandstand eating our warm Now Ladies.
I get it. Even this Friday night, we went to, a friend of mine directs the marching band at Decatur, where I went. So we went Friday night, and I was sitting there watching the show. Their show's very different now. It's not marching as much as it is like an interpretive. It's a different world. But I was just remembering because my cousin Mark marched in the band, and I can remember the way my band uniform smelled, and I'd go spend the night at his house, and we'd sit up late and watch scary movies, and we'd be on the basement floor covered up, watching something, and I'd be like, I swear Dracula is right outside. Yeah. But then the next morning it was cartoons. I'm feeling that vibe. Somebody else, what were you saying? Yours was Bugs Bunny? I still will go to YouTube and watch the best, especially Chuck Jones. He did Bugs Bunny in the late 50s when there was like that was when it was the really good animation. They still cheer me up. Somebody else?
Mine was Super Friends. It was definitely Super Friends and a bowl of Fruit Loops when they were good size, not the size they are now.
Oh, are they smaller now?
They're like Cheerios.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
You need all that food coloring.
I need all the food coloring and sugar.
Oots Frey, Oops Lay. Somebody else? What you remember about Saturday morning? Come on in. Oh, I loved Rocky and Bullwinkle. So, I watched some of those recently. That was really sophisticated humor, like the literary things the jokes they would make. Like I remember when I think it was not Fractured Fairy Tales, but it was one of those was on there, and he says, our heroes went to the Isle of Lucy, and it was like an island. It was fun. Anyways.
But you know, in all of the rhymes, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm.
Oh yeah, Schoolhouse Rock. And I'm sitting here on. I can sing all of those. 3 is a magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. Don't start me. I know. I'll sing you any theme song. You name it. Tennessee Tuxedo, Underdog. Love all of those. But you see what I mean when you start tapping into those? I mean, I could make us low vibrational. I could say, "What's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your childhood?" And we'd all be crying in a minute.
Yes.
But I'm just showing you techniques of the ways you can raise vibration, and it's not superficial. It's those good memories that you've had. You need to hold on to them because you need them. They're like you need a basket of them. That's one thing. You know, Howie's birthday was this week, and even now, because we talk we probably talk on the phone now more than ever, but sometimes I will just call him with something that I remember it was funny in college. I don't even have to explain it. I'll just say the word. We both start. I did it last week. Something I said. Do you remember that time you said? I had no lead in. He was answering the phone and said, "You remember that time we were sitting and kissing cousins and you said that thing?" And we lost our breath laughing. It would not be if I explained it to you. You'd be like, "That's really not funny." You had to have been there in 1976. But I keep those close because sometimes I need those things to remember. So that's our meditation for today. Let's go ahead and get into the the word. I'm laughing because I don't know if this is, well, I'll tell you. Welcome to the Metron Live podcast, coming to you from the Atlanta Theater. Metron people, please welcome the podcast people. As always, we appreciate what Charles is, and Charles is doing sort of a video podcast now. You can see it on his page. What's the name of it, Charles?
Caffeination.
And his theme is like all about coffee, and it's very innovative. So you should definitely check that out. And of course, we send peace and strength to Charles and his family this week. The reason I chuckled is this started out being a three-parter. And then Beth said something about alignment. I'm looking forward to the fourth part, and I didn't want to embarrass her because I was like, it's not part 4. So I did a part 4. It's all your fault. And then it turned into 6, and then Denise down in Cochran did this whole thing about, I felt this scripture about number 6, and then Tricia said, it's not 6, it's 7. So, all right, well, then we're 7 parts. And then Elwood this week sent me this thing, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, and he prompted AI to write a song based on, because you kind of have to know how to work AI. You have to prompt it a little bit. And so he created a song based on the 7 parts that we've done. And then at the end of it, because Charles is on our board, and he's not here in person, but he always watches and is a voice in my life, very much like Danny and some of y'all are. And he said, "Oh, by the way, you're not through at 7." I'm like, "Good Lord, this is the series that never ends." It goes on and on. So I don't know. I'm not necessarily calling this part 8. I'm calling it reflections on in a beginning, vibrating to create the reality you want. I don't know what's going to happen today, but I want to go back and look at some things. But I want to show you something that in all of these weeks that I've been talking about this, I haven't really brought this part of it up. We just kind of read through this verse, and I haven't really mentioned this. So And now it's like it's all I can see in this verse. Let me show you. You know, this whole thing has been based on Genesis 1:1, which in the King James says, in the beginning. We've talked about how in the Hebrew it actually says in a beginning. We talked about the Hebrew word bereshit, and that it definitely could imply multiple beginnings. In fact, even my very theologically conservative Bible college, they even taught us the gap theory. That there was an idea between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, because it says, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void. And so there's, even among them, there's definitely an idea that there were two creations. The Genesis 1:2 is actually a recreation, which is kind of what I want to talk about today, because we're really talking about infinite possibilities and multiverse. But I want to get this established more than anything else we talk about today. But before I do, out of these, if you've heard all or any of this series, what has stood out to you the most? What's been the thing that's, when I say stood out to you, that's applicable to your life? Danny?
This whole series has been pivotal in a needed message in the earth. It's really been needed in the earth. In fact, it's like a new window that we look through, that we look in and we say, wow. So it's really, I mean, I live on it now, vibrating.
Yeah. Yeah. You just said what we all been thinking.
That's awesome. Seriously, thank you. Frederick?
How awesome that you're teaching it. The other day I'm watching TV and the commercial come on and it said, in a beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was about color. It was about,
So you notice it.
yeah.
Even,
But
you know,
the things that they show gardens, they show two people walking through a garden. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool.
what was it that Jeff and Marty are somewhere? Where did they go this time? Canada? I don't remember. But while they were getting on the plane, he sent me a screenshot of something about there are many ways to get there. Was something like that. He said it's confirmation of what you're talking about, which is what you're saying. Somebody else? What have you gotten out of it? Or did Danny say it all? You're like, I was going to say something, but Danny raised the bar so high, I'm afraid. Avery?
What struck me is the removal of a timeline. You know, in school you learn there's a timeline. There's, you know, this and this and this and this and this happened. It's like, no, it's this and
Reality isn't linear.
right.
That's kind of what I'm talking about today. Brian?
You remember when I showed you the flower of life?
Mm-hmm.
It says there's, the flower of life. You look at it, if you research it.
Like sacred geometry?
Sacred geometry is just like all those, it's all one flower, but it has so many circles and so many dimensions are all together at one. They're all experiencing the same thing as a whole. Like and all of them are touching each other in one essence. So that means that
Yeah.
they're co-creating in the same
Yeah.
space and the same time, but at different parts of it.
Excellent observation. You raised a smart son. Sonia?
But you know what else? What you have been teaching about a beginning idea and what's been happening in the world at large as a beginning is it's a natural process. You know, a beginning means that you can look from this to this to this to this. It's a different, like you always talk about, there's a different facet of the diamond, there's a different facet of way of seeing things. But it's not a forced situation. You can, it's a beginning, but you can turn this way, you can look at up, but it's not a forced
Right.
thing. But what's going on in today's society, there's a group of people trying to make a force up. You can't force up. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Everybody trying to force a beginning. You can't force a beginning.
Agreed.
That's not a certain thing. but when if it's you can't force you can change the by looking at the way you think into but you can't force to be the.
If somebody didn't know what we've been talking about, they think those people have lost their mind. But we totally know what you're saying. But yes, exactly.
You
Yes.
can't force into a the.
Yes. Brian?
Two realities would be coinciding at the same time.
Yep.
Like,
And you can be stepping in and out of them constantly.
Right.
That's what's very interesting, is how you. I mean, I can see it in my mind. I don't know how to explain it, but
really what we do. I mean, every day we walk around. I'm here. I may be thinking about something
Yeah.
that's way higher than what this
right.
is.
You're in and out of it constantly. And the thing is, everybody's doing time travel.
Yes.
Everybody's projecting into the future. Everybody's going back into the past. Like all of those things, you know, they're real and they're happening
But
simultaneously.
you can't force people into
No.
the.
We hear you. Y'all stop trying. Sonia wants y'all to stop forcing the. Woman's trying to make her point. We got you. No, seriously, I totally hear what you're saying. Fred?
It's because of the fact that there's a beginning. You always come to a place where there's an end. So when your end comes another beginning.
No such thing as an ending. Yeah, yeah. That's so powerful.
See, this is your fault.
What was it? I said the other day, I said something about, I said, y'all are crazy or I'm crazy. Something Daddy said, we learned it from you.
I mean, every day is a beginning. Yes, sir. It's
And you get to determine. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we have to go in and out of certain things. It's healing.
Yeah,
It's healing and it's drawing us into something else. You can't park in the old, but jumping there for a minute can help heal something or rewrite something.
agreed.
That was
Yeah.
messing you up, then you go back forward.
Danny?
It's difficult to hear this message because now we're having, and it's difficult to do, having to learn how to navigate.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You ought to try teaching it.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
You ought to try teaching it. When you have revelation of something, you're like, oh, do I have to say that? Because now I'm going to have to walk that out. But yes, it is. It's the is a comfort zone.
Yeah.
The is, this is the way you told me the world is. This, you know, I accept this reality. And anybody that's ever been a part of changing the world did not accept that, which is kind of what you're saying. It did not accept that premise. Like, well, yeah, it's always been this way, but here's a different reality. That's why, you remember when I taught about the man at the pool of Bethesda, and he just goes into his story. I've been doing this for 38 years, and Jesus doesn't even acknowledge his story. He says, well, take up your bed and walk, meaning I'm not even going to have this conversation with you. If you didn't know where Jesus was coming from, you think, well, Jesus doesn't have a lot of compassion. You know, why didn't you engage with that guy? But he was offering him a different trajectory, a different reality. What? Yeah. Anybody else?
And Bishop, we got one more thing. When it says the alum, this is the like say the beginning, this is the alum. So we're all teaching it with you as the alum, and so it is so cool that we are the alum. That's actually
We're the Elohim. We've talked about that back in the day. Yeah. We're continually creating. That's so powerful. Anybody else? All right. Try to hear this verse like you haven't heard it before. Okay? I'm Men in Black. I've got that thing. Like you don't, now you don't remember. All right. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 3 in the Concordant. All right. It says, in a beginning created by the Alueim, which you're saying, or the Elohim, were the heavens and the earth. Yet, I want you to notice the word yet, which means but. Like here's a premise, but, so it says, yet the earth became a chaos and vacant, and the darkness was on the surface of the submerged chaos. Here's another but. Yet, the spirit of the Alueim is vibrating over the surface of the water, and saying is the Elohim, become light, and it is becoming light. Yeah, Bishop, we know you've been saying that for 7 weeks. No, I want you to hear this. One of my most famous sermons is A Tale of Two Trees. This sermon is A Tale of Two Butts. What'd you say? Or, if it sounds more polite, A Tale of Two Yets. Okay. In the beginning, or in a beginning, God created. Yay! But the creation was dark and chaotic. Boo! But it's becoming light. Yay! Do you understand where I'm going with this? Like, what do they tell you in the business world? If you got to fire somebody, you give them a positive, a negative, and a positive.
Right.
Like, we appreciate all the years you've given to this, corporation. We're having to scale down, so we're going to let you go. But we're going to write you so it's like you don't just come in and blow them out of the water. You did. That's a great. I mean, if you've ever broken up with somebody, it's like, I value these years we've had together. It's not you, it's me. I feel like I've outgrown that. But I wish you the best and hope we can be friends. So there's a principle of it's positive, it's negative, it's positive. This is what I want to get across to you. If, let's see. I was trying to think of an analogy I could give you. Do you mind if what we talked about? Okay. Ken went through this thing recently where his boss decided he couldn't stay out there like he was before. And it was kind of hurtful the way it happened because this guy has been a good friend of Ken's. And the way, it's like, sometimes somebody can do something, but it's the way they did it that just... And so Ken's point today, and I hope this is okay that I say this, but he said, my only thing is I just wish he had said, well, can he just stay out here when he's on call? Or at least say, look, it's good to have one of the guys out here because emergencies happen 24 hours a day. He's already on site. Or at least this is what the higher-ups want, but I went to bat for you, but I can't. It just should have been handled differently, okay? So what I was trying to explain to him, I said, let me tell you what my teaching is about today, because it kind of came up even this morning. I don't know. Have I mentioned to you that I'm living at my mom's house? I don't know. I don't know if I've brought that up. Have I told y'all that? Okay. Let me start at the beginning and give you every single detail. This morning, some Sundays we don't even see her. She's gone back to bed, and I make sure she's got lunch, and then we see her later in the day. Today, she came out, and we just had a really nice moment. She said, "Can I just have a hug this morning?" I said, "Yeah, it's fine." She felt really skinny when I hugged her. She said, "I just want you to know I appreciate everything that you do so much, and I just hope you have a really." It was like a nice note to leave on, because I'm just going to be honest with you. I haven't, in the last 9 months, I haven't always left the house like that. And there's a couple of times where she said, "I'm sorry you're having to do all this." I'm like, "You should be." And that was after a lot had transpired that I won't go into. But anyway, the point is, I said, it's just so much better. I'm glad that I've kind of reached a place where I can feel compassion for her and feel, it's because I have felt very put upon and you feel what you feel and you try to feel something more positive. You're like, anyway, you understand what I'm saying. So I was saying to him, I said, whatever this thing is with you, and I won't say his name, but at some point, you can't make it happen, but at some point y'all are going to have to, because it's one of those things where they speak to each other if they have to, but they're basically not speaking to each other. I mean, they're speaking to each other, but you know what I mean.
Right.
When it's somebody you have talked, because before, like anytime we'd go out to eat, his boss would say, I saw Jim post over, but he'd always, bust his chops about, y'all, what are y'all eating on the French Riviera again? That was always his thing about, it's all y'all do. But that's the way he would joke with him, and that hasn't happened at all. So Ken said, there's a couple times this week I started just going in his office and say, look, we've got to, and I said, well, you'll know when it's the right time. You can't, when you got to make peace with somebody, it's got to be on your terms, or it's not going to go well.
Right.
But I said, let me explain to you what I'm teaching today that you'll understand. You staying out there, especially when we lived downtown, was a great blessing. It was, because it's a long way. Every time, the first 8 years we were together, he drove back and forth from Atlanta out to Greensboro every single day. And it's a lot. And every time I would drive out there, first of all, I'd pass, they live in Madison. And I'd be like, good God, Madison's a long way. I can't believe Ernie never drive all this way. And then I'm not even to Eatonton yet. Now I'm not even, good Lord, how much further is Greensboro? And every time I would drive out there, I think Ken loves me more than I love him. I don't know. Like, if I was able to drive this every day, I have to be like, this has been great, but I don't think I can do this. Kudos to him. So during the pandemic, he started staying out there, and then we just never changed that. And it's actually, I got used to it because I'm used to being by myself a lot, and it was fine. It was convenient for him. He didn't have to spend so much on gas. So that's been our reality. So when this ended, it kind of messed a lot of stuff up. It's why he got a smaller car, because he's scaling down, because what he had before was $10,000 to fill up, and what he has now is only $8,000. But I said it's a positive, negative, positive, because that's been a real blessing, and then it really sucked the way they did this, and it just made you feel not valued it just was not handled right. But I said, truth be told, don't you really being in Stone Mountain probably shaves 30, maybe 45 minutes off at least 30 off it, so it's closer. But I said, now that you're used to it, don't you like coming here? And I said, yeah, it's so much better. I said, well, I've gotten used to seeing you every night now, so I like it better too. Do you understand? It was like, Ken gets to stay out there and it's great, but his boss didn't handle it really well and told him he couldn't stay out there anymore, which really sucked. But he actually likes being home at night. I think the entire universe operates on this principle. Like, have you ever gotten really good news and you told everybody your praise report and then just the exact opposite happened, and it's like, wah, wah. Like, I remember, I think I shared this with you before, the Starbucks I go to the most, which, by the way, I know they're closing sale for Starbucks, and it's none of mine. I have a handful that I frequent. Mine are all safe. But the one I go to the most over there on Ponce, I've known all those baristas for years. Every time they turn, I know them all. When I go in, Nas makes me, I know, hey Nas, what's up? I like that hat. That's our jam. So this is a few years ago, going in there, and it was like this moment where I walked in and none of those people are even there now, but I walked in and they said, hey Jim, we love when you come in. And Ray behind the counter made my coffee, and it was like, and I was like, I love you guys. It's always great. You always know what I want. It's like we just had this super high, positive, everything's great. We love you. You're one of our favorite customers. I know, and they were making a joke about you order the same thing every day. I said, aren't you glad in a world with so much changing? Aren't you glad this is one thing you can depend on, is you know what I'm going to order? So we just like, it was like this great moment. Everything was positive, and we are the world. And it's like, I love these people. They love me. It was all great. And I got my coffee. And I said, because they always have a code to get in the bathroom, because, they got a lot of indigent people around there. I said, what's the code today? They tell me, okay. So I walk in the bathroom and put my coffee down the sink and spilled it. And it went everywhere. And it happened so fast. I mean, I was like having this really high vibrational moment, like, I love this, Starbucks, this is great. And boom, oh my God. I just have this, it was like the bathroom was wall to wall coffee. And I thought, I just can't go out there and say, I spilled coffee everywhere. I'm on my hands and knees with toilet paper, cleaning it up, because I just went from this high vibrational moment to this wah, wah. I'm sure it would have been fine. Any other day, if I had spilled it, I would have just said, I'm sorry, I spilled something in it. But it was just, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we went from such a high moment. I think they even gave it to me free that day. They're like, we don't just, this one's on us. It was like, and I went from that to, good God, the mess I've made in here. And I think I just cleaned it up and, walked out. I'm just going to leave. And life is full of those moments, like everything's great, everything's wonderful, boom, yet it becomes darkness and chaos. And if you don't hear anything I've said all these 7 weeks, you've got to hear this. If you don't find the second but, if I wasn't preaching, I'd say you're screwed, but that's vulgar. But do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Why did it just, we have this idea if you have a fundamentalist idea of creation, God's just speaking out into nothingness. He's just floating out of nothingness, and he says, let there be light, and boom, everything. That's not what this says. It says something great was created, and then it just went down the toilet. And disappointment is difficult, but disappointment after a great high is nearly unbearable. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, this bad news really is bad, but it's especially bad because it just came on the heels of, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of more analogies. Like, I remember one time, I was living in Covington, and I was in a drive-through at some fast food place. It was at night. It was around Christmas time. And there was this family in front of me in the car. I could see, I'm assuming they were a family. There was a young man, a young woman, some kids in the back. And they had a real Christmas tree tied to the roof of their car. And it was just this moment where I'm sitting there, and I was just being wistful, and I'm looking, and I thought, that's a sweet little moment. I remember when my kids were small and how fun that was to decorate a tree. So I'm just for a moment, I'm just sitting there waiting my turn at the window, and I'm thinking, they're going to go home, and I'm just thinking of all these things, like they'll probably put on their favorite Christmas music. That's what we always did. I had certain records that I want to play that while we're decorating. And, I'm just having this moment where I'm celebrating a family and I'm reliving family memories. I'm like, that's so sweet. They're going to pick up their whatever they're getting, hamburgers or chicken or whatever. They're going to go home and eat and decorate. Like, these kids are going to have so much fun. And, I was like, I was just going to town with it. I thought, I bet those kids are imagining what's going to be under that tree. I'm just thinking all these things. I'm like, that's just beautiful. Life is beautiful. As soon as I thought they got their food and drove out, and this car comes and just runs right into them. Smash! It knocked the tree off the car. I'm looking like, are you kidding me? I can't believe this thing. And, I'm seeing this guy out there. He's wanting to decorate his tree, and he's having to call his insurance company, and the other guy's out there, and they're doing the "Are you all right?" thing. And I'm just like, I got to get out of this parking lot. I mean, it just really messed with my head because I went from deck the halls with boughs of holly to nobody knows. Just for a minute, I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. Life stinks. You get I remember, these are all anecdotes I'm sure I've shared with you, before, but I'm kind of going through this right now because my downtown house only has one parking space that came with the unit. Ken rents a space from a woman who doesn't have a car. And I keep telling him, I said, why don't you just free up that money? He said, no, I never know what you're going to do. You might go back town. I want to have a place to park. So he's still paying Vivian, who is the flight attendant who doesn't have a car. That's on him. And I'm going through this now because our friend Miguel, who doesn't live there anymore, has gotten to where, like the other night, he called and he said, hey, I'm doing this concert. Is it okay if I park in your space? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Well, now he's just like taking it for granted. Like, hey, I'm in your space. I'm like, well, I'm actually going down there today, but it's okay because I can park in Ken's space. I'm like, next time, just ask me. So it's kind of a thing. And in our building, when they say they're going to boot you and tow you, they ain't playing. Because he's been booted and towed in neighborhood. I mean, I grew up in Atlanta. I didn't even know this neighborhood existed. I mean, it's like you get out of the car and are running into, bullets are flying over your head, and you're running into the, anyway. So it's like parking is a thing. But I remember years ago, before I lived there full time, but I lived there, I wrote all my books there. Debbie lived there for a while. Judah lived there for a while when he was at Kennesaw State. I bought that place in 2003. So, we have a lot of history with it. And so, because I wasn't there all the time, a lot of times somebody would be parked in my space and I'd have to tell the concierge, like, I don't want to get anybody towed, but somebody's in my space, and it was always a thing. They have to call me. Well, one day, is this story boring?
No.
Okay. One day, what I used to do, I live in Covington, if I had to catch a flight, I would stay at the loft because I was 10 minutes away, or I could just get on MARTA right there. It was much easier than trying to drive from Covington to get to the airport. So I'd flown in, and I had a meeting in Atlanta, so I thought, I'm just going to go to the loft, I'm going to take a nap, and then I'll go to my meeting. Well, I get there and somebody's in my parking space. So I go down to the concierge. I said, look, I understand why this happens because I'm not here all the time, but somebody's in my space. So the concierge is like, we're going to get them towed. I said, no, don't tow them because in fairness, I'm not here all the time, so they probably don't think anybody lives in this unit. I said, just tell me a place I can park because I'm just going in, I'm going to take a nap, and then I've got a meeting. Okay, you can park in this space. All right, fine. Are you sure that space is going to be there when I come out? Oh, yeah, I got you, dog. I'm like, okay, thank you, dog. Well, when I wake up from my nap, I come out and my car's been towed. And the new concierge came on duty, and that guy didn't tell him. So what really bugged me is I'm trying to do a good deed to somebody. I'm trying to send out good karma. And then I get like, how the heck did this happen? I'm good karma guy, and I got to go out with bullets flying over my head now and try to get this car out. Like, what the heck? It just made I know y'all can't believe it because I know you think I'm in prayer and fasting and speaking in tongues 24 hours a day. But I got in the elevator and some young guy was in there. I said, let me ask you something. You ever do a good deed for anybody? And he's like, occasionally. I said, well, don't. It's a waste of time. There's no such thing. Karma is a crock. There's no... I said, I just did this thing where I could have had somebody towed out, but I let him stay, and then my car got towed. It bugged me for a long time. Like, how the heck did this happen? And I was wrestling with that angel, like, where's the blessing? And like, This one ain't got a blessing. It just is what it is. This is a blessing-free thing that happened. And I had to go pay $150 to get my car out of being towed in the dangerous neighborhood. I never did. And my point is, sometimes you just think everything's great. I see trees of green, red roses too, and then something happens. You're like, ugh, what in the world? Do you understand what I'm saying? People, you've got to find the second butt. You must be butted again. That was a play on you must be born again. You must find the second yet. You must be yetted again. Yeah. Because the first butt's coming.
Yeah.
Everything's great. Everything's high vibrational. Everything's wonderful. But go back to the original thing. In the beginning, created by the Elohim, were the heavens and the earth. Yay! It's awesome. God is great. Yet. No yet. No but. Have you ever had somebody present something to you and you're like, hey, everything's great about it, and you're like, oh, there's a but coming here. No but. Yet the earth became a chaos and vacant. What is wrong with you, God? This is what you created? And if you take the scripture literally, God was butting all over the place. In the Noah story, it's, I repent that I even made man. Remember? He said, I'm just going to destroy them all. But Noah, but that's all through the scriptures. If there's any way, let this cut pass from me. But nevertheless, so you've got to find, and notice what it says here. Yet the earth became a chaos and vacant, and darkness on the surface of the submerged chaos. And here, yet the spirit of the Elohim is vibrating over the surface of the water, and saying is the Elohim, become light. And it is becoming light. Meaning, it's not, it's like, it's getting better. I'm going to be okay. This thing was a big setback. It was a big disappointment. But I'm going for the second but. Yet, it's becoming light. It's like the sunrise. It's not like flipping on a switch. It's like, I'm getting my bearings. I'm getting my head around this reality, and finding the second but where the spirit is vibrating will cause this thing to become light. It's not light yet. I woke up early this morning, and I usually keep those protein bars in the kitchen because Mom eats them, and he'll go down and get one for breakfast on Sunday morning. And in the middle of the night, I got up and I'm like, man, they're gone. There's no. I thought we had some there. So early this morning, I thought I need to go to the store and I'll get some, which is fine. But I'm laying there in the dark room, and I don't know if y'all use Siri this much, but I'm always locating my phone this way. I'm like, hey Siri, thank you, because I have no idea where you are. You're somewhere in this bed. And I just kind of whispered it. I was like, hey, Siri. Like, Siri, come here, you. But I said, because it was like around, 6 or so. I said, what time is sunrise today? Sunrise today is at 7:35. Okay, I'll wait till around 7:30 to go there. Because I don't want to make a run in the middle of the night. But the thing is, I knew the sun would come up today. Weeping may endure for the night. Anybody know what the next word is? But joy comes in the morning. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. What's the next word? But the Lord delivereth him from them all. In the world you will have tribulation. What's the next word? But be of good cheer, I've overcome the world. When you start seeing this, you'll see it all through the scriptures. Like, here's a good thing that becomes a bad thing. You ever had that where like, man, I wish I hadn't even given that praise report, because it's like, this thing's just mocking me now. Don't be afraid. Just say, yeah, I said it. This doesn't happen now, but for the next week, it'll be the 15th anniversary of when I publicly came out. And for years after that, I would run into people that I knew from the past. Again, this hasn't happened in years, but it would just happen every time that people would go, hey. They would tilt their head to the side. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. What are you doing now? What do you mean, what am I doing now? Like what do you do? And this is when I was still when we went to the smaller building in Covington. I mean, I still had the largest church in Newton County, even then. And people say, "Do you think you'll ever preach again?" I'm like, yeah, I never took a week off. I've never not preached in my entire life. Really? But the Bible said, oh, baby, don't Bible me. Don't Bible me. Because I will out-Bible you all day. If you want to go there. Now it doesn't. But that was a reality for me. I had this, but this thing happened. Changed my... But, honestly, what I have now is what I am now. Do you understand? I mean, I wasn't living a lie at Church of the Now, but I'm not that guy now. That guy that pastored a mega church thought a certain way and was a certain way that I'm not that way now. That's beyond just coming out. It's how my theology has. The fact that y'all get, this is a very abstract thing about the versus the fact that I can just throw this out and you're like, yeah, I got it. Because I can tell you, there's some people I could say this to and they'd be like, what? This is what the Bible says. I've shared this with you before, but I remember NIV, the New International Version, a few years ago, they came out with the TNIV, which was the only difference with it was when Jesus said, if your brother is offended, it just said if your brother or sister is offended. That's all it said. But all these guys, Pat Roberts, all of them got in there and called it the feminist Bible with a transgender agenda. I'm like, brother and sister, like really? You think just acknowledging sister? I mean that. So I was listening to this Assembly. God bless the Assemblies of God. I was listening to this Assembly of God pastor who was being interviewed by NPR about the TNIV because he was preaching against it. They preached against it so much they finally, Zondervan, they don't even publish it anymore. Yeah. I went one time in the Bible bookstore in Conyers. I said, do y'all sell the TNIV? And it's like I'd asked for porn. They went, no, we don't sell that here. I'm like, you don't sell today's New International Version? I mean, the NIV is one of the... No. I could tell they were like uncomfortable that I even asked. So this woman asked this pastor, what is your issue with the TNIV? He said, well, for example, in the Bible, which by Bible he meant the 1611 King James Version, he said it says, God said, let us make man in our image. And she said, well, what's different about the TNIV? He said, it says, let us make people in our image. And she said, that's problematic for you? And he said, yes, ma'am, that's not what the Bible says. She said, are you saying women aren't people? And he said, ma'am, I'm just telling you what the Bible says. Like, that's an easy... I wanted to interview his wife and say, your husband can't find it in his heart to say, you are a human being. I'm not even talking about equality. He doesn't even think, he thinks you're another species. Ma'am, I'm just telling you what the Bible says. So for me to come in and talk about versus the versus and you're like, got it. And y'all can give me feedback that lets me know you understand what I'm saying. That's huge. I couldn't have taught this 20 years ago. I could have, but it would have been, I would have had letters and I would have had negotiate. Now I'm just like, I can just tell y'all anything. And y'all like, we got it. Even if you didn't agree with me, you'd still be like, yeah, okay, got it. So look at this quote, number 2, by Gordana Biernat. We do not observe reality, we observe our reactions to it. In other words, reality is, in essence, neutral. You give it meaning. God brought the animals to Adam to see what he would name them. And whatever God called them, whatever Adam called them, is what God called them. People wasting time trying to find out, what does God say about this? Because God's looking at you saying, what do you say about it? See, I have given you the city. Can I just tell you this? This is for big boys and girls. Because it's like what you were saying, it's too much responsibility. I wish I didn't know this. That's not true. I'm glad I know it, but I also have to live it. And it's much easier for somebody to say, you don't have any say over what happens to you. So let me end with this. This is what Elwood sent me this week. And I think it's very cool. This AI called it the creation frequency. And it's based on 7 parts that we've talked about. Here's verse 1, part 1 and 2. This is what AI said. The start is in the whisper, not the sound of final strife. In a beginning, before the breath, before the light of life. A truth that's ancient, a lesson to unlock, awakening the vision, moving past the cosmic clock. What? The breath of being stirs the deepest, hidden place, vibrating to create, setting the pace. You see how the couplets that rhyme? And then there's a chorus. The core message is, we are the frequency of now, tuning to the core, sending out the energy of what we're reaching for. To create the reality held inside the soul, every thought a signal, making the whole world whole. I love that one. You don't chase the future, you bring it to the present. The power's in the current, the moment is incandescent. I think only AI could have rhymed present with incandescent. And here's verse 2, comes from part 3 and 4 of this series. Now the mind of Christ is called a blueprint clear and bright, shaping what we manifest from darkness into light. It is becoming light. Jesus, fix it. That's not the way. Jesus doesn't really fix things. He turns water into wine. He multiplies loaves and fish. Some of you heard, I hope I didn't overshare, but some of you might have heard my 11:11 I did Friday night, because this thing, I've been dreading about how the tax thing was going to work out, and it was fine. It was fine. There was no, we signed forms and it's fine. And I know you told me it was going to be fine, but I was so much happier when the CPA said, no, you're good. Not that I didn't trust you. I just, in the mouth of truth are witnesses. And so when I went, because I'm not a good, I don't keep things like I should. I'm not a receipt guy. So when I have to, I still have the same CPA out in Conyers I had all those years at Churchland now. And so I had to take in my stuff. And I'm always hoping he's not in there, because I always feel embarrassed that this is all I have. But he was there. I said, oh, hey, Jimmy. I said, here's my, because I did a tax extension to October 15th, which I should have just done it in April. So it was a non-thing, but Live and learn. I'm not saying I've worried about it every day, but it's just been this thing that's just been kind of gnawing at me. Like, I could owe it like $20,000. I've got to figure out how to, like, and I don't have to do any of that. But I brought in my little manila envelope. I said, Jimmy, this is all I have. Here's my stuff. I said, you know, Jesus multiplied loaves and fish. And that's what he did. When he sent me the email back the day before yesterday, he said, hey, I kind of guesstimated what your utilities would be. He actually undershot it, but I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. What I'm saying is, stuff doesn't get fixed like that. You're like, if you have a little bit of improvement in an area, you better hold on to that. Well, yeah, I know, but I felt really good, and there was a couple of days I didn't feel good, but I'm feeling better now. Be glad for those days you felt good, because it was what a foretaste of glory divine. It's showing you it's in the realm of possibility. Do you ever have these little breakthroughs like, I was doing really good and then it kind of didn't work out? No, it's still working out. That little preview that you got to hold on to that because that's coming attractions. Because when that first but comes, you better remember, the way you remembered those Saturday morning cartoons earlier today, you better remember those things that happened. I like to talk about my miracles because I need them. I need the memory of them. Go on. It's the nexus of science and spirit where the truths align, a conscious intention, a design that is divine. Part 3 and 4 reveal the way the current flows. We are the co-creators planting seeds where the future grows. And then it does the chorus again, the core message. We are the frequency of now, tuning to the core, sending out the energy for what we're reaching for. To create the reality held inside the soul, every thought a signal, making the whole world whole. Love that. You don't chase the future, you bring it to the present, the powers in the current, the moment incandescent. And then there's a bridge. You know, in songs there's a chorus and there's a bridge. Bring it to the bridge. The layers peel away with 5, 6, and the finale, breaking free from chaos, the fear-based valley. Elwood, if you're watching, this is brilliant. From vibrating to create to what the soul truly means, it's the whole story, the truth between the scenes. No more vacant chaos, no submerged darkness to hide. The reality you want is living deep inside. And then there's an outro. Listen to the frequency and know what you are worth. You are the conscious spark giving new reality birth. It all starts in a beginning, vibrating to create now. The most hopeful thing I see in Genesis 1:1 in the Concordant, it says the spirit is vibrating. The womb is still open. The window of opportunity has not been closed. The steadfast love of the Lord never fails. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. That's Lamentations chapter 3. Why? Because every day is a new day. Weeping may endure for the night, but go for the second yet. If you stay stuck on that first yet, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
What was it? Whoopi Goldberg said, "You in trouble, girl." And go. And it's hard. I mean, that first but is daunting. Like, oh man, I just wanted this. I didn't want the but. There's another but in there. You got to keep looking for that one. The Spirit is vibrating. It is becoming light. Let's all stand. Freddie got in there at the end, three claps. Did y'all hear what? Can we get T-shirts printed up? I'm looking for the second but.
It's so good it gave pride.
What? Somebody said something? You said something? Oh, Michelle, what?
Oh, I was gonna ask, did AI create a melody to go along with that?
I don't think so. He did it once before. He sent me a song thing, but but I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but if it is, I'd be interested to hear that. Huh?
You ought to sing it.
That's my big hit. My big hit I've been waiting for all these years. If it is, Elwood, I'm going to give you credit. We'll be Lennon and McCartney. All right. I don't know if this is the end or not. We'll see. Just remember that positive, negative, positive. It's in every cell in the universe.
You know what I hear this morning from the second but, and this is just for me. Over the last 10, 15 years, I no longer believe that there is a God who's pulling strings. If there was, I'd be really pissed at the political leadership we have in this country. And for the longest time, I've never believed in Satan or a devil that's out there to kill and rob and steal and trying to always tear you down. The second but to me is life. I just say that's life.
Yeah.
You know, you can't explain why a 12-year-old girl gets cancer.
Yeah.
It's life. That's the second but, you know. But it's freeing to me not to have a Jesus that is a weapon against you.
Totally.
I'd rather be in charge of that myself.
Totally.
You know, if I get lung cancer, I'm like, dude, I smoked for 20 years.
Totally.
That ain't something Jesus had it.
Same thing with the devil. Even if they're worried, I don't want to give it or him that much power. I'd rather just say, no, I did it. Go ahead.
But it's freeing to me whether you, but to follow up on that, I also know in my spirit that if I need to call on whatever this
Something
source
happens.
is,
Absolutely.
the other night, I did this because, you know, I'm kind of a spiritual, my granny and all of them were fortune tellers and whatever.
Yeah.
They did it under the umbrella of Pentecostalism. The other night, I'm like, I want Mexican for dinner this evening. And I said, I'm going to wait for Ava. I'm going to send this to her. I just
Yeah.
thought about it.
And she said the same thing?
A couple hours later, I said, what are we going to have for dinner this evening? She's like, I don't know. I think I want Mexican. And I just did. I'm like,
I
you know
totally
what?
get
There's
that.
something
And that's
in-
happened to us a lot.
There's something in with all this.
Totally.
We may never completely understand.
Totally.
But I'm bored very easily with that whole thing of God's pulling all the strings.
Yeah. It's depressing to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather just
I agree
embrace
on
mystery and go, well, I don't understand. I don't have the answer to everything, but that's not it.
The second but to me is life, and we get to say, well, that's life. Now what? Now what?
Exactly.
Let's go on.
Exactly.
You know.
Oh, that can't be it.
Right. If God's in charge, I'm like, wow, we need a new one. Okay. Let's just have a moment of silence just to let it marinate, saturate you. Let your defenses down. And just, if you can, receive what you can receive. I can't make you receive something. But if there's something I said today that's what you need to hear, then let that just permeate your spirit right now. Yes, our definitions have evolved, but there is something bigger than us. There is a higher power. There is something that we tap into, that thing that we call God, that spirit is real. Take what you can of what I said today. And if you've had a situation that just was a yet, a but, that knocked you out, I pray that you have the strength to find the second one. Yet the Spirit is vibrating, and it is becoming light. I say that everything in your life is becoming light. Whatever you're going through right now, it is becoming light. Amen. Play the outro, please.
Contributing to Metron is quick and easy. You can give anytime using any smartphone. Text the amount you would like to donate to 404-620-5044. You will then receive a notification that you successfully completed your donation. You may also visit bishandthenow.com and click the support tab to give there as well. When you contribute to Metron, you're also donating to the charity or organization of the month. Thank you for your investment into Metron.
Make your check to JESM, pay your cash forward. What group did the song "Doing the Butt"? What was that? "Doing the Butt"? What was it? Was from that Spike Lee movie. That's back in the 90s. See, I thought y'all knew. Y'all don't know.
It was on Jimmy Kimmel just on Friday night, too.
Oh, really? They sang that song?
They were talking about it a little bit.
Oh, that's funny. Not "I Like Big Butts." That was a different song. But "Doing the Butt" was "Doing the Butt." It was kind of like "The Bump" was in the 70s.
Now butts are gonna be a law or a lie.
Well, I know it's a double entendre, but you won't forget it.
You know, when I was listening to Amy Poehler on her podcast, she was talking about her very first skit on Saturday Night Live was she got pregnant in the butt. So butts is just gonna be all.
I heard that.
All right, thank you.
And on that note, I remember that skit. All right. Did y'all get it? Yes. Are y'all coming back for more? Yes. All right. God bless you. Go in peace. Got nothing but love for you.